What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecasts, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. We have a 4-star map for Denver from last night. Look at that. And we also have a 3-star map that we're going to talk to you guys about as well. So we got some map review coming up. And then we're going to try to quickly get into the forecast because Denver, you guys are in the chance yet again for more hail as well as a lot of the Front Range. Some of it could be large hail, so we're kind of side-eyeing today's risk. We'll talk more about it. And then into the Central Plains tomorrow. Today's system is going to push that way. And so we'll talk all about the forecast here in a second. But first, getting into yesterday, tons of hail across the nation. Got some up in Montana, all the way down southeast to Georgia. So lots of hail to go around. But we're specifically focusing here on the Central Plains because that's where it got hit the hardest. And then there you go, out in the Colorado Front Range, got some hail there as well. But all the way from the I-25 corridor, all the way east into Missouri. Got some large hail yesterday. And then down southeast, all the way from North Carolina into Alabama got hail, with the Greenville area getting hit particularly hard as well. So let's get into those two maps from yesterday. Starting with our Colorado 4-star, here it is. So there were a few storms that went up through the late evening hours, doing quarters, ping pong balls at the largest. And then all of a sudden, overnight, this guy went up. Got long hail times on that, like 30 minutes. This storm just kind of sat over the area, and the Erie area got 2-inch hail with that storm. Now, it was isolated. It was dropping some small guys along with the bigger stones. But 2-inch hail regardless between Longmont to Fort Lupton. And so, you know, with that, we got a ton of homes impacted. There's your stats there. 2.5-inch hail was the largest, and that came from the High Plains area. 2-inch hail, again, with this one. But impacted over 116,000 homes with all those swaths collectively. So that hail map is called Longmont, Erie, Henderson, Colorado, if you guys are interested in downloading and viewing that. If you're already a Hail Trace subscriber. If you're not, go ahead and click that QR code up above me, scan that, or click the link in the description, and that'll get you a demo to our product, so you can go ahead and check that out from yesterday. Then, as well, we got another hail map down in South Carolina. Greenville area got hit pretty hard. We got some 2.5-inch hail with that, as well as more quarters to $half to go around the Piedmont, Simpsonville, and even Lawrence area in South Carolina. So that map is called Greenville, Malden, Gray Court, South Carolina. Max hail size on this was 2 inches, and that did come from the Greenville swath. Hit over 67,000 homes from all of those severe swaths combined. So again, there's your 3-star map for your Tuesday for South Carolina, 4-star for Colorado. What are we going to get today? We got actually a ton of stuff happening. It's not just the Front Range that we're watching for hail. It's pretty much all the way from the North Plains down into Texas that we could see severe weather into today. For the North Plains, we got that system that's kind of tracking through South Dakota and Nebraska, moving out of the way, clearing out behind it, and so we'll see what can form back behind that. And then we got some more clear skies through the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles for today. A little bit of cloud cover over Denver. We'll see if we can get that to move out of the way for us here in the coming hours. And then down through the Gulf Coast. Got another risk for you guys with this system. Just this whole mess that's been spinning away for the past couple of days will continue to produce a low-end chance of severe weather until that moves out of the way. So watching all of that. But here's kind of our overall setup in one little graphic. Got a trough that's finally making its way up and over the Colorado Rockies, keeping it nice and cool back there, but it's running into all of this heat and instability out ahead of it. 75 degrees in Kansas City, 73 in Dallas, only 53 right now in Denver. So while we're waiting for that heat to make its way up, it's going to collide with that trough. Get us plenty of severe weather. Even those higher dew points, we like to see 60s to 70s, and they're working their way out towards Denver right now. 51 out there currently, but we're sitting, again, well in the mid-60s through a lot of the Central Plains. all the way up into Minneapolis, Minnesota, got mid-50s dew points for you guys. So plenty of areas where we have potential to see severe weather today. And again, remember that that trough is getting ready to push into this whole Central Plains area where we could continue to see severe weather sparking up. Now here's our significant hail model. Here's kind of what's going to perk, I think, a lot of folks' ears up, is these moderate to high-end values right over the Rocky Mountains. Now if you guys are in Denver, Colorado Springs, Monument, Fort Collins, if you guys are in any of those areas, you probably know pretty well that once storms roll off the mountains, they really tend to get going, but will they get going over the city, or will it be a little further east? So that's kind of what we're watching for today, but there is a high chance that we could see severe weather starting up this afternoon and rolling off of the Colorado Rockies into the Central Plains, where we'll continue to see high-end environmental factors for severe hail into this afternoon. It's going to continue through this evening, and then tomorrow we'll have yet another round possible for the Central Plains. So here's how it all kind of pieces together in our future radar. Got a couple of storms forming around 4 p.m. Central, so 3 p.m. Colorado time, Mountain Time, just to the south of Denver. Now it's looking like those will track northeastward, potentially through the city or just south of it by around 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight, and then up, really getting ramped up as it tracks over the 80 corridor here. And then we've got this other complex that's making its way towards Colby, Kansas, with a potential for severe hail as well as strong winds. Now once those link up, then we'll see more of a wind chance increasing. Got a whole mess of storms all the way from North Dakota down into the Central Plains into today. So hail chances and wind chances across the board there with any of that. And then into the southern plains, it's going to be a little more isolated. We do have this system that's through the southern Mississippi Valley. Going to see more storm coverage with that, but just less severity, frequency, because of all the cloud cover and rain that's going on. It's kind of cool in the environment. So we'll see storms with that. What I'm really watching for severe storms is this first line that starts to make its way into Amarillo, Lubbock area by 8 p.m. Storm mode kind of indicates wind at this point, with a couple of severe hailstones possible. It's going to move in and out, and then we get a second round forming through, once again, Amarillo and Lubbock in the overnight hours, and then we could see wind and hail chances with that as it tracks off to the east. Wind and hail both possible through our southern Mississippi Valley risk with those storms. So for hail, again, it's pretty much across the whole Central Plains here and parts of the Front Range. So just getting into it, if you guys are in Bismarck, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, Casper, things are a little more scattered over your area, so got to keep you in the low end. But once we get out into the Front Range, through Cheyenne, through North Platte, through Colby, things start to pick up. Denver area, going to put you in a high chance for now to see storms moving through. Could potentially develop right once they get off the Rocky Mountains, rolling through Denver into the Fort Collins, Greeley area, and then up I-80 towards North Platte. So we're really watching this area in particular for some very strong cells that could potentially produce 2 to 2.5 inch hail, as well as potentially tornadoes. So there's your forecast for today for the upper plains. Moving down into the South Plains here. Amarillo, Lubbock, moderate chance for you guys to see severe weather with either of those lines that pass through. Any hail that forms through you guys should be tapering off once it moves into, I guess, the Amarillo-Lubbock corridor. I forget which highway this is. But once it moves into that area, should be tapering off on size, but you could maybe see potentially a ping pong ball into tonight, all the way down into Midland, Odessa with that hail risk. So for our city forecast for you guys in Denver, storm timeline will be in a couple hours here, 2 p.m. through 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight. Any hail that forms through the area could potentially get ramped up pretty quickly. 2.5 inch hail possible in and around Denver. Chance of seeing 1 inch hail is pretty high. Looking at multiple rounds of storms moving through. I know everybody's excited to see Denver on the map finally. And so we're watching all of that into today and tonight. Stay tuned to our Instagram stories as well as our Facebook stories. We try to post a lot of up-to-date information and pictures and what's going on as things happen. So stay tuned to our social media tonight, especially if you guys are in or around the Denver area. Now for wind, again, looking at this pretty much the same area, but just extending it east a little bit for that complex that's going to be riding through Nebraska and Kansas. So if you guys are anywhere from parts of Minnesota all the way down into parts of Wyoming, low end chance for you, but you could see some strong winds with any of those scattered storms passing through. And then Cheyenne through Colby, Denver, North Platte, you guys probably have the best chance to see stronger winds today. Then down into Dodge City, low end chance for you. It looks like you might thread the needle between the upper and lower parts of this complex. So got to keep you in a low end for that reason. Amarillo, Lubbock, got a moderate for you. Shreveport and Houston, you guys are in the wind risk for today with this complex that's kind of been training over you all. Then for tornadoes, keeping the Texas-Louisiana risk in it as well as parts of the Front Range, Central Plains. So all the way from Casper down into Amarillo, Lubbock, got a chance for you guys to see tornadoes. Specifically, again, that corridor right along I-80 is looking like where we could potentially get supercells tracking with the potential to produce that large hail as well as possible tornadoes. So watching this area particularly for those tornadoes. So Denver, North Platte, Colby, Kansas, moderate chance for you, and low end chance for the folks in the southern Mississippi Valley and East Texas today. Now into tomorrow, could be more, but now it's for the Central Plains. So that same trough that we're seeing tracking over the Colorado Rockies right now is going to shift off to the east as they do, and it's going to move into this area instability. Now we will probably still have storms ongoing early on in the morning. So it's going to move into this moderate instability here, kind of working its way up. It's going to continue to increase through the afternoon through Oklahoma, Kansas. And now if you're in Oklahoma City, we're kind of watching you. So we got that instability tracking its way up into central Oklahoma with those high values. Got plenty of heat, got all that Gulf moisture streaming up into the plains, but there will be a cap, as there so often is. So we're watching Oklahoma City to see if it's going to break that cap and if we can get storms forming through the city itself and southern Oklahoma. So watching that into tomorrow, and then those storms are going to kind of taper off that instability as they move through the area. So for starting with the north end of the plains again, we got broad risks for today and tomorrow. So just working our way north to south. Going to have that whole mess of storms that's already ongoing by noon. Like I said, it's going to be an early day for a lot of folks in the Central Plains. Got plenty of rain and thunder through the Denver area, and this complex is going to track up to the north and east. So there it goes again through North Platte, again through Colby, and we've got more storms developing out ahead of it that could produce more hail as well as wind along that line. So we got all threats in play by tomorrow afternoon for the northern plains. And you can actually see on our future radar that low pressure system starting to spin as it tracks through the Central Plains and out of the Front Range. So we're watching that into the North Plains tomorrow. South Plains will continue to see storms with today's complex through Louisiana, through southern parts of Arkansas and into Mississippi. And then we've got the central and south plains through Oklahoma and Kansas. So we got that first line that's tracking through the Colby area, and then we got more potentially developing south of Dodge City there with that chance for hail, with that chance for wind. Now we got a line too, tracking through Wichita, and potential storms developing just to the southeast of Oklahoma City. So if you guys are along the 35 corridor in Oklahoma, Kansas, we're watching you guys particularly to see if those storms will pass in and out of the area. So Salina, Wichita, OKC, stay tuned to the forecast tomorrow. Specifically, if you're in southern Oklahoma, we've got a more conditional risk, but we're watching it as it develops and those conditions become more clear. So for now, for our forecast, we got quarters to half dollars, once again possible, anywhere from the North Plains down into the far south Gulf Coast area. And the chance for the largest hail is going to be where we see the most instability, and we've got isolated storms developing through southern Kansas, through northern Oklahoma. So starting out north, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, all the way down into Missouri, we've got chances to see quarters to half dollars possible. Through Sioux Falls, through Omaha, we do have some isolated cells that could produce some larger hail, but it's going to be just that, isolated. It's going to be pretty scattered, so keeping you on the low end. North Platte, Colby, Wichita, more coverage over you guys, so moderate chance to see some larger hail. Leaving Oklahoma City in the low end for now, but if you do get hit, we could potentially see some very large hail, 2 to 2.5 inches into tomorrow. So we got to stay tuned for that into tomorrow's forecast. Jump back with us then. Then for Shreveport into Jackson, low end chance, kind of like today with our wind and tornado chances, low end for you guys, but we could potentially see some quarters to half dollars through the area with that storm system. So then for wind, same areas outlined here. If you guys are anywhere in the northern plains here, where we're more scattered, low end chance, North Platte, Colby, all the way down into Wichita, Kansas, you got a moderate chance. Again, now we're just looking at storm coverage, so just more storm coverage for you guys with that moderate area. And then back to low for Oklahoma City, Shreveport, and Jackson. Then for our tornado risk for tomorrow, and this will be it. We just have that Central Plains risk for you guys, and if you're in North Platte or OKC, low end chance, coverage problems, so that's why. Then Colby into Wichita, moderate for you guys with any storms that get rotating and moving through the region. So that's it, bada bing, bada boom, we're done. That's all for today and tomorrow. It's got a lot going on, and it's certainly been a busy week. So it's when you guys want to follow us. You can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video, and pay attention to our stories. Again, I want to plug the stories. We post a lot of stuff on there, so you can get up-to-date information very quickly in almost real time, a lot of times with these storms. So follow us on our Facebook and Instagram stories. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can scan that QR code up above me, click the link in the description if you want a demo of our products or to sign up. Or if you want to know more about Hailtrace and what we do, give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And keep up to date with your weather information today and tomorrow. If you guys are anywhere from the Front Range to the Central Plains, could be a doozy. We're going to be watching it and we'll keep you updated. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.